for this beginning of this Bible study on soul ties. Amen. How many ever heard this word soul tie? Mm-hmm. How many know it been a word that was originally heard it? Amen. That's what we're going to deal with tonight. And I think it's a very important subject because a lot of things that you see happening in relationships, many times we don't realize it's just an old-fashioned soul tie. Okay? But before we start tonight, I want to send condolences to my family down in Miami. I had a cousin that passed today, Charles Greggs. We grew up together, and I'm saying rest in heaven to his soul. So just pray for our family as we go through. And we know God's a God of comfort. He's a God of mercy. Amen? So let's bow our heads. Father, we thank you tonight for this opportunity to come together again to study your word. God, I pray that you give us revelation insight on this subject, God, of soul ties and the dangers of sexual sins. God, I pray that you give us a spirit of wisdom and revelation and knowledge of you so the eyes of our understanding will be enlightened. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Now, I sat down. If you follow my text, I'm going to try to follow what I wrote down. And there's just some random things. I know it's going to generate some questions, but as these questions are generated, we're going to come back and kind of revisit. Amen? Then we might stop and pause and talk about some of these things. Is that okay? That's okay. Does everyone have a handout? All right, so here are some random thoughts about sex and soul ties we will explore in depth in this teaching. Amen? So number one, sex is a spiritual act that forms a covenant between its participants and is binding in the spirit realm. How many understand that? What I mean is it's a spiritual act. And it forms a covenant. Somebody tell me what a covenant is. It's an agreement about what? Here's what it is. Marital covenant, homeowner association covenant is an agreement. And what about the agreement? It's binding. So when you have sex, it's just not a physical thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you tonight in these sessions that there's more spirituality connected to it than you realize. Point number two. When you have sex, you create a soul tie with that person, and nothing will ever be the same between them. Sex changes everything. You can be friends, a platonic relationship, but once you have sex, that changes everything. It's just like having toothpaste in the tube and trying to get the toothpaste back in. Once that toothpaste is out, it changes everything. How many know that? Yes. Amen. I've seen people mess up relationships by a good friendship just by having sex. Are you hearing me? So, usually one is controlled by the sex, and that is called being whipped. How many ever heard the term whipped? Mm-hmm. Come on now. Y'all laugh, but y'all know it's real. Amen. You ever see a situation where this dude is with this girl and what she has and what he has doesn't make any sense? And it seems like this one has more control over that one, and there's nothing physically you can see that makes sense. Well, somebody's being controlled in the sexual bed. Amen. Do you hear me? I'm telling you, the enemy is trying to get in your bed, but he does it by first going through your head. Yeah. Amen? Amen? So you need to understand. So who you yield yourself to, that's who you have a problem is going to obey. So you got to watch who you put yourself in covenant with. Are you hearing me? All right. Number three, every time you have sex, you initially tie or bind yourself to that person. It is an illegal marriage. How many hear that? In other words, when you tie yourself, that's a bond. You're binding yourself to that person. So every time you have sex with somebody, you are marrying them. Is anybody here? Oh, y'all got to lighten up on me tonight. This grown folks Bible study. Come on, somebody. How many hear what I'm saying? You are marrying them. Remember in Jesus said, just like in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the coming of the Son of Man. When they're marrying and giving in marriage, he's not talking about He's talking they're going to be fornicating left and right. So every time you have sex with someone, you're marrying them. It's an illegal marriage. You get tied. And it's not a holy covenant. It's an unholy covenant. And that's why you're confused. That's why it's hard to break. You can't stand them. But it's hard to break away from them. And that soul tie is going to have to be broken in the name of Jesus. Yeah. Is anybody hearing me? Amen. You know, they beat you, they can't stand you, but you keep going back. Why do you keep going back? Because you're tied to them in a non-physical way. Is there any witnesses in here? Amen. All right. Amen. In other words, there are non-physical body and emotional ties. Number 4, sex is an altar where you present your body and soul to a person or persons, and not only to the person, but to the spirit that's providing over that marriage ceremony. Just like God presided over Adam and Eve's marriage ceremony, where every time there's a sex, there is an official officiating that ceremony. If it's fornication, it's an unclean spirit. If it's marriage, it's God. Y'all follow me? Yeah. Y'all got that? So you know God is not sanctioning something that is unholy, that's unrighteous. Even Pastor B and I, all the sex we had before we got married, before we got saved, we had to go back and renounce it because it was done in an unholy covenant. And that's why it was a lot of spirits attracted to our bed, because all the soul ties from her predator and all the soul ties I had, and those things was transferred between her and I. But we broke it in Jesus' name. We renounced them in Jesus' name. Is anybody still here? Yeah. Boy, this is the church I pastor. It's going to be a tough crowd tonight. Maybe you need to go back to Phillips. I pastor y'all. This is going to be a tough crowd tonight. So what I mean by an altar? What is an altar? A place of sacrifice. So on the altar of sex, what are you sacrificing? Just your body? Remember, sex is just not a physical act. Your emotion, what else? It has an effect on your spirit. But more so your soul. Are you hearing me? No, I'm going to walk over here. I got to come down here. Anybody hear me? So it's just not a physical act. Look at sometimes when you see kids, like a girl, all of a sudden her hips are getting bigger, her breasts are getting bigger, and she's just 13 years old. You think that's just natural growth? I'm talking about she's getting swollen. You know what sex does to a female's body? It tells the body to prepare to have a child. Yes. Now guys like it, but she fat, she fine. That's the way they look at it. But really, biologically speaking, when you can tell when they get sexually active, all of a sudden their breasts done got bigger, hips done got wider, and we call it smelling themselves. Are you hearing me? So sex is an altar where you present your body. So every time you have sex, you marry the person. Think about, and when I think about all the people I married before I came to Jesus, I know everybody don't have that same testimony. But think about all the people that it was an illegal marriage. You need to divorce that devil. At that time you didn't know? But now you understand. Aren't you glad you're free? Did Mary and all those folk have you confused? No, imagine you got, let's put it this way. If you have two people who are, let's say, together, and you got four of the people in the conversation, is that, how sane is that? It's confusion. Think about it non-physically. Everybody you had sex with, you are having sex with everybody they've had sex with.
Right.
So in a sense, it could be two people physically in the room, but it could be a multitude non-physically in the room. And you wonder where these attitudes and these dispositions come from. No. Remember, I talked to one sister one time, and she said, she was coming clean because she fell into fornication, and, it was a trap. And she said, but since that time, I look at women differently. Well, come to find out that her sex partner was bisexual. You ever heard of sexually transmitted diseases? Well, what about sexually transmitted demons? Because you're becoming one with that person or person. So what happens when you become one with somebody? Do you think you can become one with somebody and come out unscathed?
No.
They say to you, all right? So she had to break that in Jesus' name because she had sex with a multitude of people. Does anybody hear me? It's an illegal marriage. Anybody have the NIV, Romans 12:2? King James said, present your body as a living sacrifice, which is what? Holy and acceptable to the Lord, which is your reasonable service. King James said reasonable service. Read it, D.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world.
But be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Go back to verse 1, excuse me. Verse 1.
Therefore I urge you, brothers and
sisters,
in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice.
To offer your what?
Bodies.
King James says present your body as a living sacrifice. Come on.
It's a bodies, plural.
Plural bodies, right?
Holy and pleasing to God.
Holy and pleasing to God.
This is your true and proper worship.
That is your true and proper worship. So the presentation of your body is an act of worship. Think about that. Now you understand why fornication sins against the only sin that sins against your body, because it desecrates your body. I might be getting a little ahead of myself. Desecrates your body. Desecrate is the reverse of consecrate. Your body is what? The temple of God. Who was your body made for? The body was made for the Lord, not fornication. They try to say, well, belly for the meats, meats for the belly. They're trying to justify their action. No. Paul said, no. Your body was made for fornication. Fornication is any illegal sexual sin. Know what fornication is? Any sex that's not between a husband and his wife. Pure, that's a simple form. If it's not your husband, not your wife. Not husband to husband, not wife to wife. Not mother to son or father to daughter. So it might be legal in the courts of law, and you won't be judged in this earth. But if you are concerned about eternity, then you need to listen to God, who created sex, and He created it to be holy. It is man that has perverted it. I've been preaching this for a while, and people look at me just like y'all looking at me. But yet, it's done more to damage our society than any other drugs, alcohol, domestic violence. It is done. Go to your family reunion, you'll see how much sex has messed us up. You almost need a flow chart to find out who belongs to who and who's your daddy and that's your mama. I'm outside. Then you connect. You find out you think you're talking to a stranger and you talking to a cousin. It might be your sister or brother. Y'all know what I'm saying. If you go to enough family reunions, you'll find out some stuff. Because my mother's generation, they didn't want to talk about it. They just said, leave that alone. Let sleeping dogs slide. Don't be stirring up stuff. So, but sex is an act of worship. And when you worship, you become one. Does anybody hear me? One with a multitude. One with a harlot. One with a pimp. You become united together. What good can come out of that? Which number I was on now? Number 5. In marriage, where the glory of God presides, the bed is what? Honorable and undefiled, right? Somebody read that for me.
Bed comes from the word
Coitus.
coitus.
Bed is translated coitus. That's a Greek word for bed. And coitus, I'll read it. And coitus, we get it from our English word coitus, which means the union of the sexual organs called sexual intercourse. So marriage is honorable and all. They call it Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable. And the bed, the union of the sexual organs. Is the anus a sexual organ?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. They use it.
Don't be whispering. We're on Facebook Live.
Oh, we're on Facebook Live? Oh, let me keep.
Come on now. The Bible's there is clearly said coitus is the union of the sexual organs. Anything else? You're having another discussion. Oh Lord, I see some frowns and some moons on that. All right. So in fornication, so in our bedroom, I'm gonna talk about me and Velma's bedroom. In our bedroom, the glory of the Lord is in our bedroom. God always officiates our intimacy. Because we done kicked out every devil, every demon, broke every unholy soul tie that we had before we met, and even before we got married. All that sex we had when she got pregnant with Sam Jr., we broke that. And I'm telling you, once we broke that, now some of y'all don't have to do that, but I'm just telling you the power. When we broke that, man, that was just such a greater freedom. Now it's just me and her and Jesus in the room. Before it used to be me, her, non-physically, her predator, some sexual rendezvous I had before I met her and got saved. Never had to address those soul ties. But when I began to come against them and break them in Jesus' name, we was cleaning house. Does anybody hear me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? I said, this grown folk Bible study. I said, this grown folk Bible study. And I'm just getting warmed up. And these are just some random thoughts I wrote down. All right, so who do you want to reside in your bedroom? That's why a lot of times you go to bed angry and let the sun go down in your wrath, because there's more in your bedroom than should be. Even the residue of anger for being violated, taken advantage of. Yeah. I could go a little further, but we got a long way to go. Sure. Question who? Question who? Yes.
Hold on. No, I talk loud enough. Okay. So, Pastor, based on your definition of bed
Uh-huh.
and what you say say, well, what it says, the union of sexual organs.
That
So
was
you
that was
may-
dictionary said.
Dictionary says, which you wrote here, right?
Right.
Which, so, and we know what you just said with the anus or whatever.
I just said anus is not a sexual organ.
Okay.
That's all I said.
So my question is, can individuals use that to get around with this is not sexual practices?
Okay.
Can,
I'm gonna do my
that gray
usual.
area.
I'm gonna do my usual disclaimer. What you do in your bedroom, that's your business. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna go there. I ain't scared of none of y'all. People have come to me with the issue of oral sex. Let's go there. Forget about the anus. With the issue of oral sex. And God told me what they do in their bedroom is their business unless one have a problem.
Yeah.
I've had people come to me telling me what one of the spouses like to do and they don't like it. I'm not going to let you pull me into that. But the question is, that's between a husband and a wife. If somebody's conscience is defiled, hello, then the strong will need to bear the infirmity of the weak.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Now y'all expect me to say something else, right? That was straight up wisdom I gave y'all.
Straight up received.
But when somebody's defiled and they keep perpetrating, they ended up eventually divorcing. Not because somebody was out there cheating, it's because of how they was being treated. The devil don't care how he breaks you up. See, you can have wrong agreements, and also you can have wrong expressions. Are you hearing me? Now, I hope that kind of like hit around some,
Yeah, just for informational purposes.
Okay.
And for, when you're counseling people. But one last question.
Uh-huh.
Ask my home. So for ties, and,
Ties.
sexual ties.
Mm-hmm.
So people may say, well, the intercourse part is not taking place.
Okay.
So there's pornography.
Okay.
There are
Spirits.
toys.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
So can you elaborate on that even?
Some people, let's talk about
People say,
masturbation.
well, I'm not doing anything, but.
Okay.
Okay.
I've talked to teenagers, not teenagers, adults when they were teens. They call themselves technical versions, meaning they done did everything but penetrate.
Okay.
Because they had the what's the thing been broken? It's still intact. The hymen. It's amazing. If I understand, the hymen comes from the word where the hymns come from. So it's even a spiritual thing. What am I saying? People can justify pornography. That's a spirit. That's defiling your soul. Because one ain't just is not gonna do. Then you gotta see two. Then you gotta see more. Now it's just not adults. Now you might be led toward teens or same sex. It's a perversion of your soul. It opens you up and to things that, cause what it does is there is a chemical that's released from having done something and accomplished something. Are you hearing me? Like when you work hard and everybody's that. It was, I don't know if it's not serotonin. It's I forget the name of the chemical. It's a joy juice. Endorphin, you're happy about the accomplishment. But what happens when you get that kind of joy with little or no effort? Like watching pornography. You get high, and the body says, wait a minute, we didn't work for this like that. So now the body gonna say, we're gonna require more. So now it's just not one website or two, the more, and each is just like a drug. Each initial time is going to be probably the highest you're ever going to be. And after that, you're searching, trying to get there, and the mind says, I'm not going to let you get that kind of high because you didn't work for it, so it's going to require more. Come on. And that's why pornography is like a python. Not only does it squeeze you, but its fangs are designed to pull you in. But even as if you try to pull out, the fangs go deeper. And when you try to catch your breath, he squeezes you more where you can't even breathe. Right. I'm telling you, y'all, sexual sins is the worst sins. Sin is sin, but there's something about sexual sin because it's the only one that sins against your body. Just like sexual sins, adultery sins against your body, which is your marriage. And I'm going to read on later. So now you went from one woman, now you need two. Now you need three. Now you need four. Now you're looking at something else. Because lust, can I get a witness? Lust is never satisfied. And you done gave it, and I get down there, see y'all, I'm flowing now. And sex is your glue. It's the original super glue. But it's called till a man leave and cleave. Cleave means to clean, that's the glue. So every time you have sex with somebody, you get glued to somebody. But what happens when you're fornicating and you're promiscuous? You give so much glue away, and by the time it's time to settle down and you need to stick, you don't have enough glue. Because you don't waste it. Y'all better come get Deacon Neverson. But have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen it? They're so promiscuous that when it's really time to stick and be in a monogamous relationship, they don't have enough glue to stick. Because they got glue all over the place. Pardon my analogy, but that's the way I see it. Do I have any witnesses here? But thank God, just like God restores your soul, he'll restore your glue. So I'm not going to leave you. God restores glue too. And he'll restore your glue in such a, you got a bunch of stick-to-itiveness. No matter what come and go, we sticking together. Me and Velma stuck like Chuck. And I'm happy about it. Because me and her, we've been worshiping a while. How many of you? So you get about the fornication? You got about the pornography? Or any addiction that's, you watch something on the screen and you do what you do. Somebody said, well, what's wrong with masturbation? Well, you can define it how you want it. It's still sex. Because it still attracts spirits. What your mind on? Your mind ain't on Popeye and olive oil and Bluto. Come on, when you're masturbating, you're not thinking about the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done to you, and your soul's not crying out hallelujah. Come on, let's be real up in here. Do I have stupid ring on my forehead? Well, what about couples? That's mutual. That's the bed is undefiled. If they agree with it, that's their business. Like I say, you can swing from a vine, dress up like Jane, dress like a chandelier, put on the ledge, put on the seat. However you do it, that's how you do it. As long as y'all agree.
That's right. That's right.
I know people the wife dresses up like the naughty maid. And I said, the only problem I have with that is, well, who is he loving on? You or the naughty maid? Are you the fantasy?
That's true.
Y'all gotta understand, men are very visual.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll stop when we go home now. And I'm just getting started. I'm the sin of a woman. I'm just getting started. Because somebody wants to address this. And it's happened most times. 90% of the time, somebody comes out, especially when they're younger, and it is now, it's usually something in the sexual connotation, either something mostly, depending on the maturity, is mostly in the past that has steered their orientation a certain way, and they don't know how to get free. And that's why God made us the healing center. How you doing, sister? And let me tell you something. Marvin Gaye didn't create sexual healing. God, can I get a witness? God created sexual. Me and Bill been healed sexually. And I rejoice with the wife of my youth. I don't know what you do. I'm ravished. She said, be thou ravished, intoxicated, inebriated, drunk. I'm a Beverholic and I ain't going to AA. I'm not trying to get delivered. I'm serious. Because we have tapped into the blessing. We hear more about the negative. Let me get back on track here. Also, Evangelist, did we come here when we're in the zip code? I'm trying to give you a framework, and I can't tell you what to do, but by the time we finish, you know what to do. And that's between you and your spouse. Is that all right? Y'all back there giggling and hollering, bring the mic back there. Y'all gotta let us in on the jokes back there. So which one I left off? Okay, so in fornication, a demon spirit presides over the bed, which is the sex. You know it's not God. Lord, let me. I have stories, these true stories, y'all. I know of a sister, got saved, celibate, waiting on her husband. And she said one day, Pastor Sam, only thing I'm concerned about is, suppose he's not good in bed. I said, well, it's not like it's just a shoe store.
That's true.
Well, you try before you buy.
That's right.
That's not the way that's supposed to work.
That's right.
Y'all follow me?
That's right.
Then she began to share some things. I've had great lovers in the times past. I mean, I said, really? You know, I can have these conversations. Velma gave me permission. I can talk to anybody about anything. She said, but how she was introduced was through rough sex. So she want her hair pulled. Hands around her throat. See, we laugh at stuff like that, but people,
That's right.
how you were introduced,
That's right. That's right.
you have a tendency now
That's right.
to reproduce that.
That's right.
And you're right, they need to live, but they don't know they don't know because that's normal.
That's right.
Tell them I'm teaching. My phone rang. Are you hearing me? They don't know. And so therefore, that's where I got the term, after the bedroom, then what? Because she was more concerned about their bedroom skills than the other skills you need outside the bedroom. How many know that you need skills outside the bedroom?
That's right.
That bedroom ain't gonna pay no bills.
Sure ain't.
How many of what I'm saying? Y'all know that's true. Now Now, it's important as far as act of worship, and that should be, you need to make sure that everybody's satisfied. Amen. Can't have your wife, your husband walk around and creditors looking at them look like they jonesing.
Predator. You said predators looking at them?
Predators.
Okay.
At the water fountain at the job, they look, okay. They can pick that stuff up.
Yeah, they can.
That's what predators do.
Right.
So you better get to rejoicing.
That's true.
Y'all gonna laugh at a lot of stuff I say, but you're gonna find out it's true.
That's right.
Where was I? All right, dishonorable. And subsequently, she came to a place, and we began to break the orientation and begin to realize that what she had initiated, she was broken in by a very physical, abusive person. Are you hearing me? Have you ever met a couple? They're violent outside of the bed. Their passion is violent outside the bed, but they're just as passionate in the bed. He can't leave her alone. She can't leave her alone. They're good as long as they're in the bed. But outside the bed, they can't get along. You know that's a soul tie. I'm going to say another thing. How you worship points to how you are sexually.
Example.
David.
Expound.
David. Just as passionate David was with God, he was just as passionate with women. Because both worship and sex is very similar. Both you become one. You become like the person you worship and have sex with. And when you let go, you let go. Hello? Okay, I'm going to drop another word. You never thought about it? Yeah. And how people are cold in worship. And there's a difference between public worship and private worship. Just like there's a difference between public sex and private sex. I'm not saying what you see here is how they are sexually, but it sure is an indication. It depends on how much you let go. Because at the release, at the climax, you have to let go.
That's right, Pastor.
Thank you, sister. I'm glad. I felt like Gilligan on the island there for a minute. You got to let go. In worship, you got to let go. You're still trying to control. You need to let go. But y'all act like y'all in church. Boy, y'all sit like it's funky up in here. Y'all. Oh. But you never, nobody here. So.
You got us thinking, that's what it is.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that.
As the woman in the well. Let's talk about it. See, y'all gonna make me flow. The woman at the well. What did they start off talking about? Water, right? Then they talk about water, talk about the well. Oh, your wife is like a well. So drink water from your own cistern. And cistern is nothing but a covered, protected well. My wife is a covered and protected well. She's my well that I drink from. Proverbs say a horse like a deep ditch. So what do you want, a ditch or a well? On a ditch is on the side of the road. There's water in it, but it's impure. You don't know who came by and did their business in the ditch. But when it's covered and protected, it's refreshing, it's renewing, it's reviving, it's not defrauding, it replenishes. That kind of worship in the marital bed should replenish you. Now I feel like you've been violated. So the woman at the well, they start talking about water. After water, what did they start talking about? Worship. Water. Worship. And then after he started talking about our father Jacob, she was living, our father Jacob gave us this well, and we were. He said, "You worship what you don't know." And I'm trying to remember the story. And then it went from water worship, then it went from the sacred to the sexual. Where's your husband? So how do you get from worship to husband? Because sex and worship has similar effects. Both of them, you become one, right? And when the people became one, what happened? The Spirit of the Lord came down as a cloud, right? And nobody could stand to minister. Is that right? Well, what do you think is going to happen in your bedroom when you become one? I'm not talking about an orgasm. I'm talking about a oneness. Orgasm is only for a moment. Oneness is for a lifetime. Oneness goes to every other area of your life.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're in agreement.
Right.
And you come back and celebrate.
Right.
It's a celebration.
Right.
What happens if we don't worship Christ? How intimate will we be with him?
Not.
You see the correlation? So the more Bev and I are intimate, and I'm not just talking about sex, I'm talking about emotionally intimate, I'm talking about all that intimacy, and that intimacy leads to climaxes. Just like we get around the restaurant here and get to praising God, what's going to happen? We keep on praising. And then we'll start worshiping, and the Spirit of God come down, and we all be under the influence of his presence. I submit to you, in the holy bed, God should influence your bed more than any other soul tie outside entity. Even if you're single, God should have the influence over your bed. No spirit husband or spirit wives or succubus or incubus spirit should be visiting you. If they come in, I know there's some of them called sleep paralysis. That's more than being paralyzed while I'm sleeping. I got a story for that. One sister is always sister. And I got witnesses. Having deliverance, come to find out the demon that was had her in bondage was an incubus spirit. His name was Satanism. Come to find out she was dabbling in horoscopes, tarot cards, and some other stuff. You can't mix. When you get religion like that, that's the worst thing you can do. Remember, Jesus was always more hard on the scribes and the Pharisees than the sinners.
Right.
Are you hearing me? So we have deliverance. And sisters is sowing the spirit, because some people can't see in the spirit realm. So he's hovering over her like he's her boyfriend, her husband. And she would tell a story. I said, well, what happened? See, I'd be asleep at night, and in my mind, I'm dreaming about a guy that I've had rendezvous with in times past. But when I wake up, everything is like it's been real. There was a incubus spirit that came to her bedroom because she had opened herself up to that spirit husband, and it depends on who you slept with. Come on. How do you get AIDS? You don't have it. The person you slept with somebody that had it, and way down there it affects you now. Well, look at the family medical history. Things just run physically. The family. Does anybody hear me? So it gets very serious, and we got to clean house. Let me read, Lord. All right. Well, I was off number what? And this is how you get spirit husband, spirit wives, incubus, which is male sexual demon, and succubus, female sexual demon. So I had several sisters tell me that they woke up and see that dude that you dream about, ain't him. That's a demon. Because it wasn't that good in the natural. That demon enhanced it. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be funny. And what he's trying to do is secure that thing. And you get to wonder what happened. You better get up there and say, God, what door did this demon come through? And usually it comes to a door and you don't see anything wrong with it. And usually it comes to masturbation. Oh, Lord, Pastor, help us. That's why he sent me to help you. Because the Bible, Jesus says it's a spiritual act. He said, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's an act. But I say righteousness takes you to a whole nother level. He said, if you look on a woman to lust in your heart, that's just as real as what you did. So you got to not only cast down imagination, but you're going to have to cast down them fantasies. Okay, everybody just lift their hands real quick. Look like y'all need a break. I'm telling you, me and Velma, we had to go to war because first we didn't know. I had them Sawadee flowers from Thailand. I had them in my little hoopty 68 Corona with my pleather seats. And when I got our new 1977 Toyota Corolla, she said, we don't want no flowers up in this dude. And when I got rid of those flowers, because my Thai girlfriend had gave it to me, and I hate to think how many multitudes that I slept with. I hate to fathom. See, baby. That's before I met you, baby. That's right. But after I met her, it was over. I'm caught like a fish. But hear what I'm saying. Objects keep things attracted.
That's true. That is definitely true.
Now, one of the things that when God told him, all right, if you used to be another religion, let's say a pagan religion, you got saved. Are you going to keep those old objects in your house? So, you got saved and delivered and you married now. Why you got your old boyfriend, old girlfriend pictures? And the stuff they gave you. I'm just being frank. Now, I'm giving you information. You could do, it's your thing. You could do what you want to do.
I feel you.
But I'm telling you, those Sawadee flowers represented something. And when I got rid of it, them crazy dreams, longing for being back in Thailand.
Yes, sir.
Because they treat you like a king. Come on, there's more to it. It's emotional. I had to break that in Jesus' name and renounce that as sin. And all those dreams stopped. I know a sister got rid of a picture that her first painted her, and when she got rid of it, since that time, she's been delivered. So don't minimize see, objects attract things. When God told the children of Israel, when he delivered them from bondage, he says, don't do their practices and take everything in your house, get it out of your house. All the images and everything. What do you think a picture is? It's an image. Well, I got memories. Well, okay, keep it in the museum. Is anybody still here? I knew I won't get too far. Okay. But when we get, okay, number 7. Sex is not just a physical act, but it's also a spiritual act that has blessings and consequences. Amen. The blessings on marriage, consequences is on sexual sins. Right? We got that, right? Yes. Number 8, God designed sex to be what? Holy. And when we obey his rules concerning sex, it has built-in blessings. You know why Satan tempts us in the sexual realm a lot? Because he knows God has built-in curses. There's consequences. You ever wonder why when God would deliver, I'm going to say this. A husband and wife is like Christ in the church. All right? Christ and the church, Israel and God, is a covenant. Remember when Israel was unfaithful to God, he used marital and sexual terms. He said you wouldn't join yourself to Baal Peor. It was the joining was to worship. Just like you join, like Paul said, can you join yourself to a harlot? You're making Christ the members of Christ in one with a prostitute. And every time God would get ticked. Why not? That's a husband and his wife. What you gonna do when your wife is unfaithful? Ezekiel 16 say, you spread your feet. Now he's talking about worship, but he's using sexual terms to every lover that came by. He said most prostitutes, they get paid, but you paid your lovers. Return to me, because I'm married to you. Can you see the power of this covenant we have? The vows we took. One old marriage vow said, with my body I do worship. Because the presentation of your body is an act of worship. It's still quiet up in here? So 8, 9. But when we disobey God's rule concerning sex, it has built-in consequences, right? Water is like sex. It's a blessing, right? It's refreshing, quenching and cleansing. But if you misuse it, you're drowning. Look how it's been misused. Taken advantage of. 10. Sex has a price tag.
Come on now, let's read this.
Sexual sins has created a fatherless generation.
Come on now.
And has done more damage to the family than drugs, alcohol, and domestic violence combined. Proverbs 30 talking about there's a generation, and 1 Samuel tells you about, I think it tells you about David, the price tag his family paid for his sin. David's sexual sin, what happened? Amnon raped Tamar. Absalom killed Amnon. I think Absalom slept with his concubine right in front of the whole nation. Everything God over Bathsheba. And you notice that the Bible still calls Bathsheba Uriah's wife. What's up with that? God, if you read the genealogy, she's in the genealogy, but he said Bathsheba, Uriah's wife. And because of David's sexual sin, there came a sword to his house. Now I'm wondering, look at our families. People don't know who their father is. They don't know their father.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
Sad but true.
Yeah. And how the enemy gets like that? When did baby mama and baby daddy come into play?
No.
I didn't hear that growing up.
No.
Because when you get pregnant growing up, they'll ship you off somewhere. Yeah. And then when you come back, you just have a dish. You won't be parading around. Them old folk didn't play that. It's a different world. Are you hear me? Yeah, the drama. Where they come? What was that church? 80s? Was it 80s, 90s?
90s. I want in the 80s.
Baby mama drama. Baby daddy. That's my baby daddy.
Yeah.
That's my baby mama. And who your dad? I remember growing up, the people next door, they had different daddies. I said, I only got one. Like I was deprived. Like I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know.
I'm probably like you said, this one got the different daddy. These two got the same daddy. These two here got another daddy. I mean, it's just about 3 or 4 daddies in the house. So my daddy coming, then I used to see the look on their face when daddy was supposed to come, and it didn't come. My daddy came home every night. Sometimes you just don't know how blessed you are.
You better say that again.
My daddy came home every night. Guess what? I came home every night.
I feel you.
Are you hearing me? Because it's a blessing. I got some. Y'all think I done went deep, don't you? Oh no. Oh no. Number 12. Adultery. Okay, fornication is every illegal sexual act, right?
Yep.
And that has a price tag. Play now and what? Let's go to Proverbs 5 since time is running out here. Y'all. And y'all, if y'all can help me, if you give me your questions, I can better answer your question. You give me time to study it. But I'm reasonably pretty quick on my feet. You know, but let's read Proverbs 5. I'm trying to get there myself. Proverbs 5 and what? 9. It says, well, somebody read that.
Which version?
Sod, Proverbs.
5 and 9.
Okay.
Any version? Any version? Oh, you looking for King James?
The King James, because I said it the way I wanted to say it.
Yeah.
All right, look what it says. 7th verse. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. Talk about the lips of a strange woman, right? Mm-hmm. Look what it says. 9th verse. Least I do what?
Give your honor to others.
What is your honor? What is, I ain't about to judge your honor, but what is your honor?
Your body.
Marriage is honorable, and the bed is undefiled. You shall possess your vessel in sanctification and honor. So what is honor? In this context, honor is when you give away your sex, that's giving away your honor. At least I give that honor to who?
Others.
Unto others, and thy years unto the crew. Think about this. You've been used and abused so long. You've been beaten down and violated by sex. You now look like somebody's been cruel to you. They 19 looking 40. Aren't you glad that God beautified us? And saints, y'all just look like all y'all look younger than you are.
Praise the Lord.
See, God done restored your soul. See, God done restored your your soul. He restored everything.
Praise the Lord.
These I give that honor to what? Others and thy years. You wasted years to the cruel slave master of sexual sins. They have you on the pole. Read somebody. King James.
Let strangers be filled with wealth.
And your parents don't know that you done gave your wealth to people they don't even know.
And thy
You done lost your virginity, and your parents don't know, and you might not remember who you gave it to, but I suspect you do. And read it again.
Let strangers be filled with thy wealth.
That strangers be filled with your wealth. How many know that you have wealth on the inside of you? How many know virgins are valuable? They pay more on the sex market. They pay more for virgins than prostitutes.
That's right. Absolutely.
Virgins have been by these rich, super rich millions.
That's right.
Good prostitute might get $3,000 a night. I mean, a good high class. I don't know if that's such a thing as a high class one. Are you hearing me? Think about it. They pay more for a virgin than somebody who's experienced. If the world put that kind of value on virginity, then why don't we put the same value? Elder.
You know, I was reading the other day, actually came through over my phone about this one lady from, I want to say she's from the Midwest somewhere. I can't remember exactly what state. She's a lawyer. And she's married. And I was tripping out when I read this. But I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 times a year she'll go to Vegas because it's legal over there, and I forgot what it's called, or some kind of, I forgot what they call the term.
Brothels?
There you go. That's what it was. And she was saying that her husband doesn't have any issue with that. She said on a good day she might do 10 or 15 different guys, and she might make $55,000 in a matter of 3 weeks.
So
And she said her husband does.
how many
and they took a picture
spirits?
of her and her husband. I'm
How
like,
many spirits is she bringing back home?
he don't care. But if you
So that sounds like a covenant, a business arrangement.
Now check this out. Now she's a lawyer. So what she says she's gonna do is since she's a lawyer, she's gonna try to fight that where you can do what she does in Vegas in every state, make it legal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was talking about how much money she was making. I was like,
Right.
your husband all right with that?
Legalized prostitution.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just the other
So
day,
sex
I was like,
sales. Come on, say it with me. Sex
sex
sales. Sells cars, right?
Yeah, it does.
Toothpaste, orgasmic shampoo.
Plumbing.
Yeah. Even the duck and the pig, they got a little bestiality up in there. And the pig done took your girlfriend. Going, wee!
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let no pig wee overtake it. But sex sales.
Yeah, it does.
Sex appeal. Got a car, put a scantily clad woman. Sex sales. All right, now I call fornication neutral sex. It ain't sugar.
Oh.
It ain't. It's an invitation.
Oh. Okay.
Are you hearing? Okay, I'm gonna give you that. How many hear what I'm saying? So they legalize. So anything that God says is wrong, they make it legal. Does that change what God says?
No.
Now let's talk about the disease, sex transmitted disease. We worry about gonorrhea and syphilis. And when I was in junior high school, syphilis, gonorrhea.
Right. It was the hot bed.
Lord, that was in the 60s.
Yeah.
Then came the hot 70s after the sexual revolution. Let's park there for a minute. Don't a revolution supposed to bring some kind of positive freedom?
Supposed to. Revolution.
Well, when you say sexual revelation, well, what did it bring? More disease, promiscuity. Can't be with the one you love the one you with. You know, who's making love to your old lady while you was out making love? Me and Mrs. Jones, we got things going on that's 11 years wrong. I don't want to be right. You know, if you want to know what happened in every decade, in any culture, all you got to do is go listen to songs and watch their movies. Deep Throat.
Oh, that's old.
Got me back.
Yeah, you went back on that.
The Mac. Superfly came out, everybody had straight hair, hair.
And them big old heels.
And I mean, it's good if you're a nice looking pimp, but you
That's one time I seen guys buy shoes that couldn't walk in.
platforms. But art imitates life.
What was that?
Art
Oh, yeah.
imitates life.
Right. Yeah.
Are you hearing me? So, sexual revolution came with the advent of the pill. Birth control pill. And my Agent Orange. I'm going to hit the ground. How many hear what I'm saying? So they said it was a revolution, but what we did, we sold to the wind, and look at what we're reaping whirlwind. Now, they don't want to tell you the truth about a lot of things about AIDS. They got it under control a little bit now more than before. But what kind of disease comes that strips you of your immune system? People don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about, your anus was not made for that. That's why some people have to wear butt plugs. They don't talk about that.
That's right.
And diapers and your pants, they don't talk about that.
That's right.
Hello?
Say it.
And that's not, I'm just making a commentary on what has happened.
Right.
And people need to know the truth. Do I have a couple more here? Well, I said, I ain't even got to the definition of soul ties yet. All right. Adultery brings a reproach, wound, and dishonor. It is designed to destroy your soul. Y'all, the adulteress has a man, and the adulterer has a woman. If they already have a man, they already have sex, then what do they want with you? They want your soul. Let's go to Proverbs 6. Proverbs tells us. Know why Proverbs tells the story? Solomon wrote it. If anybody knew anything about women, he had how many wives? 300. How many concubines? About 600 some odd wives. Man, it's only 365 days in a year. Come on now, you're gonna be busy. Are you hearing me? 6:33 he says 26th verse. By means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. Hey, know what that tells me? To some people, you are just a meal.
That's right.
They don't love you. Like I say, they like the way you taste.
Right. That's true.
Like what you say, and you're bound by that. And adulterers will hunt for a precious life. Like she has a man at home. But what does she want with you? Wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. What do they want with you? She wants your soul. I know a young man, I got stories.
Oh, not the man.
A young man, he was a teenager. He got turned out, he got introduced to sex by an older woman. She had to be more in her 30s or mid-30s. His orientation was he didn't like girls. I said, what do you mean you don't like girls? I said, he said, well, I like women. Because how he was introduced. Come on. Your introduction determines your reproduction. That's where you have a tendency unless you break out of it. Is there anybody here? And the power of your the first determines the rest. Your orientation. That's how powerful that is. In the church, we want to just, how can I just be a healing center? How can I preach about that? Somebody finish reading. You got 5 minutes.
Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned?
Come on now, let me tell you something. You can't be hugging on a woman. You ever felt a woman? I'm talking about from a man. A woman feels a whole lot different than a man. Are you hearing what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, you're playing with fire. How many know that if you keep playing with fire, eventually what's going to happen? I was teaching one time with the singles, and I said, I know y'all grown, but maybe you should consider having a chaperone. I said, I'm a grown woman. I said, chaperone gonna be in an open place in the mall. There ought to be somebody sitting there watching y'all. You got to put up healthy boundaries. That's right. They said, okay, I'm grown. I said, I know you're grown. And later on, they came back to me, Pastor, I ain't grown. You know why? Because they had got themselves in a situation and they thought they could do their usual pullback, and boy, that thing got stronger, and they almost self-control. Yeah, right. You need to put yourself in a position to succeed. Why are you sitting up in the dark at their house 11 o'clock at night? You do everything that's leading to that, and you don't try to draw out of that, withdraw from that. Besides, you know what's up.
Yeah, you grown.
One sister just said, look here. She recognized that after 10 o'clock, she couldn't talk to a dude on the phone. To her, she said, something happens with their voice. It changes. And she feels the lure. So we all know ourselves and we know what turns our head. And you need to put up healthy boundaries. Because it's easier to maintain your celibacy than to break a soul tie. It's easier to maintain momentum than to lose it and try to get it back. You have momentum, you're doing well, and the devil sees you. Because they have a mindset about church people anyway, ain't it right, Susan?
You're right. Think we easy.
Y'all holy, but you're horny. I'm just grown folk here. They ain't listen to all that. I love Jesus and I go to church. You need to come to my church. They'll come to church. They'll fall out. They act like they caught the Holy Ghost and everything because they're on a mission. Because the more they act spiritual, which is nothing but emotionalism, you letting your guards down. Next thing you're holding hands and straightening glasses, and next thing you know, you're pressing your body up against each other, and then y'all start slobbing each other down, and he opened his eyes because he think he with Darth Vader, because you're y'all laugh because you know I'm telling the truth. Oh, you need oxygen or something? And you need to know your temperature. Come on now, you need to know if you 3 Mile Island or the South Pole. Well, you gotta know your temperature. You know, holding hand, whoosh, no. Said we can't hold hands, brother. The reason why I say that is because you're receivers. You're built to receive. You gotta watch you let plug into you, not just physically, but in your mind. That's what we call it rapping. We call it macking. They call it spitting game. It's words for you. Somebody finish reading it. Got a couple minutes.
Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned?
All right, now you walking on coals, so you ain't burned. You know you done fail. What y'all doing? Nothing. We ain't doing nothing. And after a while, you getting swole. Read.
So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife,
If you go into your neighbor's wife,
whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
if you touch her, you're not going to be innocent. Go ahead.
Men do not despise a thief.
Now, if somebody stole a piece of bread, a loaf of bread, hello somebody, you can replace the bread. But when you steal that, how you going to replace that? You done had sex with your neighbor's wife, how you going to put that back?
I know that.
That's right, but you can't undo it.
No, you sure can.
That's right.
No, that's
You can't unsex. Well, I unsex you in Jesus' name.
trouble.
Don't work like that.
No, sure don't.
Finish reading, D.
Sure
If he
don't.
steal to satisfy his soul,
If he's hungry and he steal the bread, he can replace that. Go ahead, read.
when he's hungry,
Uh-huh.
but if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold.
You restore 7 loaves of bread for the one you stole.
Right.
He shall give all substance of his house.
And give everything. Go ahead.
But
Whosoever committed what? Adultery
with a woman
with a woman.
lacketh understanding.
First of all, you don't even understand what's getting ready to happen to you. You think you're going to have a rendezvous and a ooh la la. You getting ready to get it. Because first of all, you're sneaking around and the adrenaline enhances the sex.
Yeah.
The sneaking, the creeping, the hiding, all of that enhances. Because you can hurt folks get caught. The fear of getting caught heightens. Lord Jesus, did they hear me say what I'm saying? And then when all that suspense is over, you got them. It ain't like it was. Because you're not sneaking no more. You're not creeping. You got them. Now you stuck. Finish reading that.
He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul.
So adultery, you lack understanding, and notice you destroy your own soul. You bring destruction to yourself. It's self-inflicted. It sins against you. You think you're doing it to him, but what you did, you're doing it to you because sexual sin sins against you. Finish reading, we'll close out.
A wound and dishonor shall
Not only destruction, but you get a wound. What's a wound? What's a wound? An open cut, but it's on your soul. Have you ever met somebody that has a wound on their soul? Yeah, you have. You just didn't know it.
I finna say, yeah.
And dishonor what? Marriage is honorable, but sex brings, outside of God, brings a dishonor. Marriage is honorable. But sex, fornication, dishonors. You done gave away your honor. You done gave away your virtue. And after they get what they want, you can't even get any more time a day. Especially if you're a church girl. You're my goal. I'm gonna break it. I'll meet your parents. I'm talking about the game. It's a game. Don't hate the play. Hate it. It's a game. Hello. Don't let all that Bible talk. Go by more what they do than what they say. And they lift their hands. They lift their holy hands in the sanctuary. And then when they get alone, their hands going by the hole of your door to arouse your passions. That should tell you something. That's why Joseph said, Paul said, flee, run like Joseph. Because Potiphar's wives were beautiful women. The Potiphar's, they had the most beautiful women. So she wanted Joseph. And Joseph know why Joseph ran? First of all, he didn't want to dishonor God and do it against his God. But he knew if he stayed there too long. How many stayed too long? You stayed too long. You listened too long. You was feeling it too long. And before they know it, you done gave in. And now they laughing at you. I thought, you supposed to be all saved and sanctified. I had one sister tell me that a lot of times church people, when I say church people, I'm not talking about the body of Christ. I'm talking about people who go to church and outside the church. They cheapen the game. When there's a product on the market and it's so easy to get, it loses its value. And there's more women than men. Are you hearing me? So that's why I always come at and try to help my sisters. Because usually now, you got some man eaters out there now. Don't get me wrong. Watch out, here she comes. Man. So you got some Delilahs, and you got some they can hook it up. Don't just those, but usually, the 7 women told me the Lord showed this one dude with their husband. When Reverend was single, me and Velma kept him close to us. We go to Miami, guess who went to Miami with us? John said, y'all, have y'all left yet? We way down in Sarasota. I said, no, we'll come back and get you. Because you need to put yourself around people that's going to help you. You can't be hanging around people, all they talking about, girl, I just need one more holler before Jesus comes. You know, what you talking about?
Right.
All right, clap your hands and give God praise. I haven't even gotten the soul ties yet, How's it pay? And you're going to recognize it. So I got it, it's on the 2 pages, you know. But how many feel me tonight? Amen. I just want to see. And even if this is not for you, this would give you some tools to help people, because you probably can recognize some people. Because I'm going to tell you, when you see something that don't make any sense, I mean, it has no rhyme or reason, you going to have to ask a sexual question. Are you hearing me? Well, they said in my office. So I'm kind of bored. When I'm led, I said, sir, have you tasted the honey? And he'll say, no, sir. And she goes, yes, we have. Yeah, coming to lie to the pastor. You know why? Fornication weakens your character. Think about it. Once you fall, you gotta lie. Just like David. He went from adultery to murder, conspiracy, and the whole fornication weakens your character. So it's more than just a just gonna act. It affects you, your soul, your mind, your will, your memory. It has far more to it, consequences than just 2 or 3 minutes, however long it is. Are you hearing me?
Amen.
And what God wants to do is strengthen us. Amen.
Amen.
Clap your hands again. I want y'all to pray on tomorrow. This weekend we have Elder Bright and Sister Charlotte's uncle's homegoing here, and I need all my ministers to show up. It's at 2 p.m. You know, brother, the uncle he's passed. He's going on.